digital world of viruses and potentially identity theft. Be cautious of emails labeled with QUAR, short for quarantine. Never send your username or password to any site clicked after a link, and never give important information over the phone. The Federal Trade Commission recommends that if an email sounds either too good to be true or too bad to be true, it probably is fake and an email scam. Use the BCC function, you're good, when emailing many people, and forward potential scam emails to spam@truman.edu for Truman's ITs to check. Sodexo has released a new app that allows students and faculty to order items at Starbucks and Einstein Bros Bagels. The Everyday app allows customers to skip the line when their order is ready. The director of Sodexo Dining Services, John Stewart, says some issues may arise when emphasizing it's still in the piloting phase, but is asking for everyone's patience. To find the Everyday app in the Apple and Google Play stores, search Everyday by Sodexo. Rhonda Vincent will be headlining the next Lyceum series on January 27th in the Baldwin Auditorium. Vincent is a Kirksville native raised just north of Greentop, Missouri. Beginning her music career as a child in her family's band, the Sally Mountain Show, she developed her skills with the mandolin and the fiddle before becoming a hit in the bluegrass genre in the 70s and 80s. Rhonda Vincent and her band, The Rage, are most awarded band in bluegrass history. Vincent has won a Grammy and 8 total nominations and has performed with artists such as Dolly Parton, Alan Jackson, and Tanya Tucker. The concert will be held at 7:30 p.m. Admission is free, but tickets are required and can be obtained at the box office at Baldwin Hall the night of the event, with a 2-ticket maximum per person. For more information, visit lyceum.truman.edu. The Department of English and Linguistics is hosting a visiting scholar through the Ofsted Reading Series. Anand Prahlad has taught creative writing, folklore of the African diaspora, film studies, and intersections in race, gender, and embodiment at the University of Missouri, Columbia. His writings include books like Reggae Wisdom, Proverbs in Reggae Music, memoirs, encyclopedias, music CDs, and poems like As Good as Mango. His current work focuses on disability, the imagination, and the plantation where he grew up. He'll be giving a presentation on Thursday, February 2nd at noon in the Student Union Building, room 3000. He'll be reading from his most recent collection of poems titled Dreaming of Endangered Species. This collection explores intersectional identities of disability and illness, queerness, and blackness in an age of political collapse and environmental crises. The Truman State University Art Gallery is starting off the semester with 2 new exhibitions. The first, titled Exercises in Letting Go, was created by Nirmal Raja, an interdisciplinary artist and curator based in Milwaukee. Her exhibition uses clothing left behind by loved ones and deals with burden, grieving, memory, and other types of loss. The second exhibition is Homebody by Madeline Lemieux, an instructor at the University of Missouri. In this exhibition, she uses fibers, sculpture, and painting to explore the relationship between embodied experiences and the domestic environment. Raja will be hosting a virtual artist talk at an undetermined time in the near future, but both exhibitions can be viewed now at the art gallery located in Ophelia Parish. Truman received a $100,000 grant to build a new innovation lab in the Pickler Memorial Library. This innovation lab will allow individuals to video conference, podcast, and experiments with different low-stakes prototypes. While construction began over winter break, it has plans to slowly open over the spring semester as furniture and equipment is installed. The collaborative part of this space will open first, with the rest of the area, including video conferencing and podcasting areas, fully launching in fall 2023. The university will be temporarily housing Oscar Mayer employees from Guam and Hawaii. Earlier this month, the city of Kirksville announced that it would be cooperating with Truman and Kraft Heinz Company to help meet workforce needs and bolster the local economy. The employees will be staying in Centennial Hall while they search for permanent housing. Centennial has been closed this academic year due to low student demand and upcoming renovations. 20 to 25 Kraft Heinz employees will be living there at a time. Participants in this program will undergo a background check, drug testing, and be enrolled in a 1-credit-hour class designed to become familiar with the area and have a smooth transition to Kirksville. Since this is a pilot program, Truman's continued involvement relies on a number of factors, including Kraft Heinz employees' needs and the availability of space on campus. Should this program be successful in Kirksville, Kraft Heinz could implement this program in other facilities across the country. After a quick break, we'll take a look at the weather and sports with Corey and Sammy.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive, ZWX. You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Could you please give me a reminder, like before we are going to go to the next slide, you can reserve kind of 5 or 3 people so that I can have a prepare.
Well, I take a break between each thing.
Thursday, you can expect partially cloudy skies with a high of 24 and a low of 17. Friday will be slightly warmer with partly cloudy skies with a high of 40 and a low of 24. Saturday, we will see rain and showers and snow mixed showers in the afternoon with flurries in the later evening.
Sorry, mic's not working. Which mic are you on?
Make sure
color?
it's turned on. Yeah, it's not turned on. Just hold the power button at the top.
Good? All right. Back to the beginning. And now for the Kirksville forecast for the rest of this week. Thursday, you can expect partially cloudy skies with a high of 24 and a low of 17. Friday will be slightly warmer with partly cloudy skies and a high of 40 and a low of 24. Saturday, we will see rain and snow mixed showers in the afternoon with flurries in the later evening. There will be a high of 40 and a low of 11. Ending this week, Sunday is back to being partly cloudy and a high of 24 with a low of 5 with winds from 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
For sports today, we'll start with basketball. Elijah Hayskamp was recognized as the GLVC Men's Basketball Player of the Week. In the past 3 games this week, Elijah averaged 24.3 points for each game. As for the results of the basketball games this week, the men's and women's team both won over Southwest Baptist. Following that game, both the men's and women's teams scored another win against S&T. And on the 21st, both teams played Drury, with the men's team winning and then the women's team losing against Drury. Then moving on to swimming, the Truman swim teams concluded their regular season this weekend with meets against UMSL and William Jewell. On Friday's meet, the swim teams also celebrated their senior day for the seniors. Unfortunately, both the men's and women's teams lost both their meets this weekend. As for track and field, the indoor season started up again this weekend on Saturday at the Northwest Invitational. This invitational was hosted by the Northwest Missouri State University. The standout team members this weekend were Addison Walker and Jacob Morris. They both won their individual events, Addison winning triple jump and Jacob winning the weight throw. Along with winning the weight throw, Jacob set a new meet record with a throw of 19.65 meters. Upcoming this week for basketball, there are 2 games, one on January 26th against Maryville and one on January 28th against Umstel. They're both home games. And as for swimming, the GLVC championships begin February 8th, and the track and field team will be participating at the Central College Heptathlon on January 26th.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Hey cuties, what's up? My name is Amelia, and this is Listening Party, episode 3. And today we are going to be discussing Her Loss by Drake and 21 Savage. This album goes hard. First of all, I think we can all agree that the most shocking thing about this album was the cover. At first I was like, whose daughter? Whose daughter is that? I think the cover is really funny and cute, and it just kind of like adds to the album. It's so cute. So let's delve into the track list. My favorite song, Major Distribution and Broke Boys those are like my favorite songs.
Hi, my name is Sarah Clam, and I am interviewing Claire about her study abroad in Fiji. So my first question is, what initially drew you to study abroad?
So I had a good friend that was going to study abroad and was interested in going to study abroad. And she was kind of talking to me about it, and she was like, Claire, you should totally come with me. And so I looked at the program because I was like, I don't know if I will, because I know if I applied here, then I would have to have graduated a semester later. And I looked at it and I talked to a bunch of people, and I remember going to a St. Patrick's Day and I like polled everyone. I was like, should I go to study abroad? And they were all like, yes. And I was like, all right, I'm never gonna get this experience or chance again. So I applied and I went.
So did you end up going with your friend?
Yes, yep.
That must have been so awesome. What were some of these specific activities or lessons you learned that were specific to where you studied?
A lot of it, whenever you hear the term like on island time, that's very true. So a lot of it, I really learned to just like take everything slower and at a slower pace, just being flexible, especially with I only had classes 4 times a week. I had Fridays off. And so I had a 3-day weekend a lot of the time, and we would go like to different places around the island because it's not very big. You can take a bus and be in the next city in 4 hours. And so we would go a bunch of different places, and just being flexible and kind of being adaptive to like sleeping wherever, sleeping in a hostel and just wherever. I grew to be more flexible than I was. So.
That sounds like so much fun. What was the most impactful experience that you had?
Let's get this one. I still don't know.
So when you reflect on last semester, what is one thing that you would have liked to have done differently?
I definitely probably would have taken another class like specifically about culture, because I did take 3 classes. I took Intro to Marine Science, Physical Oceanography, and a literature class, an island literature class. And I wish I would have taken like a Fijian class, like a language class, just so I could learn more about like the history of the Fijian culture and just the history of Fiji in general, because they really do have a really neat and interesting culture. So I just wish I got to explore that a little bit more.
And that would also help you like stay immersed in that culture too.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So what was the process of applying for study abroad? What was that like?
It was super easy. My friend told me about it, so I knew like where to go. But I applied through ISEP, and I know through ISEP, I applied through ISEP directly. And then after that, I had to do the little study abroad application for Truman, and it was like 5 questions. And then after filling out some paperwork about like financial aid and stuff, that's pretty much it. And then you just go.
That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, super easy.
All right, so my last question for you is, what is something you wish you could have brought back with you?
I'm going to change up my answer. I would have brought back the 80-degree weather because it was beautiful. Not the rainy season, because that sucked, because they do have like a dry and a wet season. But during the dry season, the weather was absolutely beautiful, and it was like low 80s all the time. So I wish I would have brought that back.
Kirksville winter is not.
It's a rude awakening, so yep.
All right, well, that's all my questions that I have for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anticipate potential delays for the morning commute. In other news, a recent government report on prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
What are you talking about, man? Look at this stats.
It's about your right to be informed. Your right to access all types of information keeps us free as a nation.
No.
Today, there are real threats to press freedom.
Residential areas by...
And your right to know about the world around us.
Look.
Some threats are obvious, some are easy to miss, but they all put our way of life at risk. We must defend against all of these threats, no matter what kind of news is important to you.
Justified putting American troops in harm's way?
That's a great question.
We must protect our right to know before it's too late. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
Thanks for tuning in with us tonight. For more complete news coverage, be sure to stay tuned to KTRM and pick up a copy of the Index. Don't forget to also check out our digital content on tmn.truman.edu. You can also follow KTRM Studios on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to KTRM Studios on YouTube for full broadcast news coverage. If you've ever thought about being on TV, head over to tmn.truman.edu/apply to fill out an application today. From all of us here at KTRM Studios, thank you for tuning in and have a great rest of the week.